We've been talking about ways to put information into a computer and get information out of a computer. And one thing we've not talked about yet is flash memory. Flash memory is the newest form of memory that's used in computers. And flash memory stores information by static electricity. Just like static electricity you might build up on your body when you're walking across a carpet on a very dry day, or put on a balloon when rubbing it on your hair. But the information, the static electricity, is stored in microscopic little spots on a memory card. Now there are two major kinds of flash memory. I guess there's three major kinds of flash memory as far as how it's packaged. One kind of flash memory just comes in a card of some sort. Most people are familiar with the SD style card. It's about this big, and the SD card is the most common card in use right now. This is a 32 gigabyte card, so this will hold 32 gigabytes of data or information. This could easily be plugged into any device that has a SD card slot, and it will probably work if it's a newer device that has an SD card slot. Now, there are many different SD card manufacturers, lots of different companies. Here's one that's never been opened. This one, it says 16 on it, but that's not 16 gigabytes, that's only 16 megabytes. So this could store some documents, a handful of pictures maybe, or just a few, maybe a minute or two of video. So even though the size is the same, it stores a lot less information. So just because it says 16 on it doesn't mean it's 16 gigabytes. It could be 16 megabytes, which is 1,000 times less. Now, memory comes in different sizes. The case really depends on the manufacturer. This one is called a memory stick. This is made by a company called Sony, and Sony has various devices that the memory stick will plug into. So there are all sorts of different flash memory cards. There's actually about 3 or 4 different sizes. There are also, of course, the USB drives. And the USB drives are flash memory, USB flash memory drives, and they will plug into a computer in the USB port. Now these also have all sorts of different amounts of storage. So you'd have to look closely at the device to see how much storage it has, and almost always it'll say somewhere on the device how much storage it has. Pull out a few more of these. Okay, there's all sorts of different ones. We'll just go through. So this one says it's 4 gigabytes. This one says it'll store 2 gigabytes. This one will only store 256 megabytes. So that would be a quarter of a gigabyte. This one doesn't seem to say. We'd have to plug it in to see how much it would store. This one says it'll store 512 megabytes. This one says 1 gigabyte right on the metal part here. Oh, and I can look at this one. On the metal part it says 4 gigabytes. I wonder if on all of them it says that on the metal piece. So this one says 2 gigabytes on this one. This one is a 32 gigabyte card. So that will store quite a bit compared to some of these other cards. And then this teeny tiny little one, this one says it will store 16 gigabytes. Another important thing about this memory is that it comes with a speed. So some of the memory is very fast. This card is very fast. It says it will transfer information at 45 megabytes per second. 45 megabytes per second, and that's a very fast speed. Some of the cards are much slower than that. They won't transfer at 45 megabytes per second. They might transfer at 30 or 15 or even less megabytes per second. So just because the amount of storage is the same doesn't mean that they will transfer information just as fast. So those are some different memory cards using flash memory. This one I think is really interesting. This is an adapter that allows you to take a memory card, you put it in the adapter like this, and I don't think you wouldn't have to put the end on it, and then it becomes a USB flash drive. And it says it's a USB 2 flash drive. So that is pretty clever, a little adapter so you can plug in your flash drive to your computer. In fact, I'm going to hold on to that because I'm going to use that later on. So, some more storage devices. Flash memory stores information using static electricity, all sorts of different sizes and also different speeds, different shapes, but all very good for storing information.